What's going on, guys? It's Frosty, and for this part of the podcast, I'm going to be joined with
It's goofy.
Sir. How's it going, man?
It's going good, man. Just chilling.
I
How about
mean,
yourself?
I'm vibing. I've recorded 3 of these parts today, and I still got one more to go. It's kind of invigorating because it kind of feels like I'm actually a content creator for like the first time in my life. Because I'm just like everything has just been content lately, whether it's for Sin or the Obey RC or whatever. It just really feels like it's becoming an actual career. So it's nice.
Eh, that's a good thing, man. That's a good thing for sure. You get to
Uh,
learn the skills of the content side.
100%. You are no stranger to this channel. Everyone on this side of the on this community knows who you are, obviously, since this is getting posted on the Sin Nation channel. So everyone knows who you are. You aren't a
Mhm.
stranger around here, but I have been bringing on the biggest vouched obey RC grinders, and I would definitely throw you in the top 10 for who is vouching you the most. So I had to get you on this episode. So um,
That means a lot, man, for sure.
yeah, 100%. Before we get into the questions, you just want to tell us a little bit about outside of the streaming personality who Goofy is, I guess.
Well, I guess to start it off, I'm 20 years old. My real name is Michael. I am a father of a 2-year-old daughter. She's absolutely the world to me. Um, I guess you could say I'm just kinda living life like a normal person, like everyone else, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you. Kind of. I think you're the first person I've talked to today who's, or I mean, in the podcast in general for this episode, who, has a family to take care of at the end of the day. Like it has to be difficult to um kind of balance content creation with taking care of your family. You know.
Oh, for sure. It can get difficult at times for sure, but, when you got the love for the craft, it's just it comes with how you get things done, I guess.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, well, let's just hop right into the questions here so we can get this thing moving along. First question I have is, um, what or I guess who got you inspired to start becoming a streamer or a content creator?
This is something that I love talking about just because the person that originally got me into starting content. So I've always loved gaming ever since I was a little kid playing in Modern Warfare 2 and stuff, like just jamming out with my family and whatnot. But the person who made me want to actually put out my first YouTube video or press the go live button for the first time was actually Blink. And for those of you guys that don't know who Blink is, he is an insane pod content creator. He literally has you guys know me as the movement king, but I learned all of my movement stuff and everything from him off COD originally. So I don't know. I was a huge fan of Blink for a really long time, and then one day I talked to him and he's like, "Goof, why don't you press that go live button? You're pretty cracked, man." And I get it's taken me where I am now. And I have so much respect for that man. He's done a lot for not just me, but my channel, my community.
That's awesome, man. Um, so were you ever posting content before you started on Twitch, or did you kind of get your start as a content creator from going live on Twitch?
So to I ever since I'm not gonna lie, I used to play Fortnite when Fortnite was the big craze and everything. And I decided that I was gonna start making like taking clips and stuff around that time. So I had like probably like 500 Fortnite clips that I never actually used. Like I posted them every now and then, maybe on like my Snapchat. But this was before I was a content creator, so I wasn't really like I wasn't pulling in numbers. You know what I mean? So these weren't seen anywhere. But I would post it on Snapchat or like wherever else. But before then, I know of one YouTube video that I was in when I was like 12 years old, 11 years old. I don't remember what it's called. Maybe I can find it on YouTube somewhere. But I used to be in like a friend group that made like COD content, and I hit a couple trick shots on Black Ops 2 and sent it into him, and it got posted somewhere on YouTube. So that's somewhere out there under the name Goofy Goober 1145. So
Oh man. Um,
yep.
So you basically got your start with where you're at now from Twitch, then basically.
Yes. Yeah, mainly, for
I
sure.
got
I
you.
pressed the go live button and decided that I was gonna make content off of whatever I hit on Twitch, so
Okay. So with the other medias slowly started adding on, like you started adding on like YouTube videos or shorts and then TikTok, or did you kind of just make all the medias at once and you kind of went from just being a streamer to a full-fledged content creator like the next day kind of thing?
I streamed for probably, I'd say, a solid month before I really, like, got into content creation because I wanted to hit as many clips as possible before I actually put out my first video.
Right.
But I didn't exactly put out, like, YouTube videos off the start. I put out TikTok videos that were, like, mini YouTube videos, and then I would put my YouTube videos out on top of those just to kinda, like, promote it a little bit, and that's kinda how I ran things at first, but, oh, you know how content creation changes over time, so
Right.
I'm now here posting full-fledged YouTube videos all in 1440p now, which is something that I just learned not too long ago, so
I got you.
it's
S- So how
been a journey for
often
sure.
you said what?
I said it's been a journey for sure.
Yeah. 100%. So with your with your content that you post, like how often do you like what would you say your schedule is for your content creation? Like how often do you go live? When do you post? Like stuff like that.
So live schedule every day on Twitch is, well, not every day, but it's Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. GMT, which is General Mountain Time.
Hmm.
And my YouTube schedule is once a week, every Wednesday at 12 a.m. Well, 12 p.m.
Right?
midday, 12
Yep.
every Wednesday morning. So, and then TikToks are also Monday through Friday, but those don't have a time schedule on them. Those are kind of just when I can get them done.
I got you. And then do you post to like Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, stuff like that? Do you have like a specific like clip schedule, I guess, for those sort of medias?
So for Instagram, I do post on every single platform except for Facebook. I don't use Facebook. That's something that I probably should start doing. But I post to every single platform. I have the same schedule for my TikToks as I do for Instagram and YouTube Shorts and all that. So
I got you.
just a Monday through Friday thing.
I got you. So with this content creation thing, with you streaming like 5 days a week, doing content creation pretty much like every day of the week, is even on your weekends, I'm sure you're editing or stuff for your content to be posted again during the week, or you're hitting clips for the content to be posted. Um, like, do you do this as a like a full time career? Do you have like a job on the side, or are you in school or anything like that? Or
So this is what I do full time. This is what I've put my all into. This is my full time thing. My only other full time thing that I guess you could say, would be being a dad.
right? So when are you able to? Obviously, you said you go live at 6 p.m. Are you?
Right.
Do you pretty much have your daughter like every single day that you go live, stuff like that? Like, how often
Mm,
are you with your family?
yeah. So I get my daughter every day, basically every day, every morning. I do sometimes get days off, like today, for instance. It's a Good Friday.
Right.
But for the most part, I get her every morning. I watch her till about like 5 p.m. And then I get about an hour to set up for stream, take a shower, do my thing, you know what I mean? Get some food in me before I start stream up, and then get at it,
I got you.
get at the grind.
So with your name in the community, I know you've been on a few teams in the past. Are you affiliated with any teams right now, or are you like signed to a team or anything like that, or are you considered a free agent in the community?
So I know I've been asked this question a lot ever since I changed my name on basically all my platforms, but I am still affiliated with Shiesty,
Okay.
which I know I am grinding for Obey, and Obey is like my main focus right now, but Shiesty is who I came up with in the beginning. So I do have I have a good attachment with Shiesty for sure.
Right. Awesome, man. Well, is there anything else that you want to say about yourself before we move on to the kind of like the obey section of this whole thing, where the main focus is?
At this point, not much. I'm pretty sure everything has been said.
One thing I do want to ask is for anyone that is as an established content creator who has kind of made their mark in the community, is there anything, any kind of tip that you can give to someone who like might have consistency and stuff like that, but they aren't really seeing their numbers grow at all, if that makes sense? So like they're streaming like 5 days a week like you are, stuff like that, and they're posting on medias and stuff like that, but they just aren't seeing their numbers grow. Can you give them any tips on like what they're missing?
So for different platforms, it's definitely a little bit different. With when it comes to YouTube, you got to make sure your content is entertaining because YouTube has evolved. It's come a long way within the years, you know what I mean? So everyone who made their name on the platform early on, like they didn't have to go crazy with their content. They didn't have to make it as entertaining as the standards are today. So with YouTube, TikTok, stuff like that, like entertaining, funny, stuff like that, you want to make sure that it's entertaining as possible. So like you want to make it visually entertaining and audibly entertaining, if that makes sense.
Right.
And then with Twitch, something that I tell people a lot is like a lot of people will tell you like don't copy streamers, like don't go in and copy other streamers, and I agree with that statement completely, but don't be afraid to go in and take incentive from other streamers, if you get what I'm saying. Like don't so when it comes to bigger streamers who have already made their name in the platform and they know what they're doing, like you're not going to have the full experience right off the start. Like you're not going to really know what you're doing until you average those numbers too at some point. So
Right.
you got to go in and figure out how the bigger streamers do it, like the way that they are, streamer etiquette, things like that, through watching bigger streamers or just even friend streamers that you're friends with that have started to blow up or are starting to get good numbers and stuff. Like you just take, I would say, take notes, don't copy, take notes and make it your own, and that will take you a long ways. But always be yourself. Like don't change yourself while you're doing that.
Right.
Make sure that you're keeping your content still based on your own fashion, I guess.
Sure. 100%. So that's gonna round out the first block, and as we move into the second block here, I assume it's safe to say for pretty much everyone that we talk to on this podcast, Obey is pretty much the dream team for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
S-
for
So
sure.
with Obey being kind of like the dream to fathom for, I guess, why, how did Obey become that like that goal to strive for? Like, what makes Obey the dream team?
Okay, so like years back in like Black Ops 2, Black Ops 3 days, I came across a couple of the Obey members, and I used to get shit on by them all the time. Like they were top notch, insane. You know what I mean? Like, and I didn't realize how big of a clan they were up until probably I would say right before I got into Fortnite. Because I wasn't pushing myself for social medias or whatnot. And once I actually started looking into social medias and seeing what Obey is and whatnot, I was like, damn, these guys are actually like they got some numbers. So over like I would say a 2 3 year period of time, I just sat there watching YouTube videos of Obey members, just like watching Obey Alliance's YouTube videos, just stuff like that. And it was always entertaining to me. I always loved it, and their members were always funny. Like I always just enjoyed it. And then once I started getting into Twitch, I ended up finding out who Obey Kia was, Obey Paint, Obey Drums, Obey Zelda, like all of the Call of Duty like or Obey members that have made their mark in this community.
Right.
And I've just I don't know, I've made a connection with every single one of them, and it's made my outlook on Obey Alliance just grow bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger over time. Like
Right.
from the very start, I've always liked them, obviously, but like as you get to meet their members and realize how big of a W they actually are, it goes to show, man. It really does.
Yeah, 100%. So how long has like a lot of people in this community, like for example, like Terry, who we talked to earlier, has been grinding for Obey like most of his streaming career, kind of thing. Um, Demo is another one that comes to mind when we talk about like some of the longest grinders. When we were all younger, we would kind of like look at Obey and it would kind of be like a fathom dream. But how long has the grind for
Yeah.
Obey been like official? Like been
From on
able
my
to the
end,
yeah able to see to the public how long like Goofy has been grinding for Obey?
day one, man. My very, very, very first stream was me coming out to Twitch because before I didn't have a Twitter or anything, so I wasn't able to come out as early on those social platforms as I was on Twitch. But all my entire community knew that I was grinding from Obey from literally my first stream on.
Right,
Like Obey was it was a dream that I've wanted since before then. Back then, I didn't push it as hard because it was a dream, you know what I mean? It wasn't something that I could even fathom doing like at all.
right,
And over time, it's become a more prevalent thing. Like I've grinded harder and harder, made sure my content was getting better and better, made sure that I was gonna show them why I would be a W pickup,
right.
you know?
Uh, this is something that I kind of started asking like halfway through because Dubs is the one who actually brought it up to me. But if you think back to like, I mean, we're just a year apart, so think back to when you were like 13, 14, something like that. Obviously, Obey, Soar, Phase are kind of like teams on the rise, stuff like that, with sniping and all
Right.
of that between MW3, Black Ops, games like that. Back in the
Right.
golden age of COD, and you're just one of those kids sitting in. I don't know if you remember or if you had one, like the iconic like mid
Oh
2010 like moon chairs.
yeah, I
Yeah,
was really into the COD scene back then for sure.
but if you just sitting back in on your like mid 2000s, if you have like the moon chair stuff like that, and
Yep,
you're
that
just
was
sitting back in your
exactly what
moon
I
and
had.
you're just sitting and watching these Obey videos, and it's kind of like a pipe dream, right? Like, oh man, when
Right.
Obey Goofy seemed just absolutely ridiculous. Um,
Something that I couldn't even imagine, dude. Like I didn't even I didn't even think like that at all back then,
right.
man. I just thought like that was like god tier level stuff, you know?
So what's kind of the image in your head when you think of the fact that there are kids out there now, maybe not sitting in like the moon chair from the mid 2000s, but people out there
Right.
sitting in their beds and stuff watching you thinking to themselves, "Oh, it's a pipe dream to be at the level that Goofy is at." That kind of thing.
See, that's definitely that's a humbler right there for sure. Cause like you when you think about being that young and looking up to the people you did and then realizing that you're that inspiration to others that you were back then, it really makes you step back and realize what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like it the first time that I actually thought about it was someone brought it up to me. They're like, "Bro, I'm not gonna lie, you've inspired me to do so much, blah blah blah. Like I want to be at the level that you're at." And when I actually sat back and thought about it, I was like, I still sit here and strive for looking at others. I still look at others to this day. Like I still look at phase members. Oh, I would love to be at their level. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna lie about that. Like I would love to be at 1 million plus followers. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's the goal one day.
Yeah.
And the fact that people look at me like that, it really it gives you a certain kind of feeling. You know, a
Yeah,
feeling that you
100%.
wouldn't get anywhere else.
So with this Obey RC, they're looking for people to fit like specific categories that they want for their team. Um,
Right.
Obviously, people kind of know you for your movement and your sniping talent on the games. Are you going for the sniping side of the Obey RC?
I I personally am actually going for the streaming side.
Okay,
And the reason being I know I could push as a sniper. I don't like I could push as a sniper or a player, but I enjoy streaming to the community so much more than I enjoy just sitting down and playing the game.
right.
Like it's streaming to my community and making the connections that I make and having the people come through every day and show me love the way that they do. Like it means the world to me. Like I enjoy streaming so much to the point where it's like nothing else can top it, you know? So I definitely I wanna show I want to show Obey why that's gonna be a thing.
100%. So obviously, like you said, you got your start in Fortnite, and now you kind of are a Call of Duty main. But are there
Right.
like so with your Obey RC, are you focusing COD with the RC video?
So I am definitely mainly a COD content creator. Like all of the content that I do post when it comes to video wise is Call of Duty. I do stream other games sometimes for fun. There's in like Apex. Sometimes I stream Fortnite every now and then. I've streamed Minecraft, like just whatever I'm feeling that day. You know what I mean?
Right,
But I'm definitely going to be pushing for COD because the COD scene on Obey is kind of what I've made my connections in. Like I said, my first connection with Obey, like my first real connection with somebody was Obey Kia.
right,
And I don't know, I've learned a lot from him. I look up to him. He's in the COD side. I would love to be able to call someone like that my teammate, and especially in the same scene.
right, 100%. I think Kia has been a inspiration to a lot of I mean, a lot of the Obey members really have been in our direct community, I guess. But I think Kia
Yeah.
is one of the biggest examples of like an empathetic streamer that you can really get to know and like really get to be a part of the community. His chat is very interactive, and he typically replies to every message that he can, with his chat
Yeah.
moving the way that he does most of the time and stuff like that.
And the
Um,
growth that he's seen since I've met him too it's been insane. Like I've
100%.
watched that man grow like a wildfire.
Yeah. Um, So as a solo content creator, kind of going up with Shiesty, but Shiesty didn't really have any like team company affiliations or anything like that. So as a solo content creator with the success that you've seen, do you have any like company affiliations or sponsors that you have as a personal?
I do not actually. I do not, but I do plan to get sponsors in the future. Is in like G Fuel. That's one of my main sponsorships that I'm looking at. I really want to get sponsored by G Fuel in the future, and I also want to get sponsored by Logitech in the future. That's like far future, but that'll come for sure.
So with obviously you mentioned G Fuel, but with Obey, obviously they have sponsors that come with their team. Um,
Right.
are there specific sponsors or like one that stands out the most to you that you're most excited to kind of be affiliated with if you do make it into Obey?
G Fuel being the number one for sure. G Fuel sponsorship is gonna be nuts for sure.
I feel like everyone
But
has said that one in this episode so far as their main
yeah,
one.
I mean, G Fuel's nice, man. G Fuel's loved. But another thing is the gamers advantage glasses.
I actually just
Those,
got done talking to Kyora, and that was his main one that he was excited for as well. So
yeah, that's something that I'm definitely looking into as well.
yeah, those are two awesome sponsors. Obviously, Obey has a lot of benefits to being a part of
Heck
their
yeah.
team with how long they've been in the community and just the reputation that they have as a gaming organization. So having a lot of those gamer specific sponsors comes as a massive benefit to being a part of their team and being able to help grow their team to hopefully new heights.
Heck yeah, it does.
The last question I kind of have here before we wrap up the second block of this is, um, while you were on the grind here, a lot of people have like a specific hashtag that people roll with. Like some people's names are too long. I know like Kyora shortened his to just like hashtag Obey Kai or something like that. Um, with the Obey grind coming up here, what is the hashtag that you are rocking on your medias and stuff?
Obey Goofy all day, every day.
Hashtag Obey Goofy, guys. You already know the
Yep.
vibes. We spread that more than any other hashtag. I think we use hashtag Obey Goofy more than we use the hashtag Sin, the Sin hashtags right now. So just make sure you guys are supporting Goofy. Obviously, all of the if you go on the Obey Twitter account, you can see all of the Obey members who have been posting who is your vouch and stuff like that. Just make sure you guys are vouching all of these guys that have been in the podcast. Obey Goofy all the way. You guys already know the vibes with all of that fun stuff. We are very active on Twitter, always repping
Yes,
hashtag
sir.
Obey
Yes,
Goofy.
sir. Yes,
So,
sir.
just a couple more questions I have for you here. With Obey Goofy, I guess, since you still have that affiliation with Shiesty, obviously we know that a lot of members of Obey have either started teams or they are part of other teams. Or like with Rydog, he started Too Nasty as like a kind of a community team, stuff like that. Do you intend on staying with Shiesty if Obey does recruit you with this RC?
So that's something that I've looked into a little bit because like I know that other members are on other teams while they're in Obey. For the most part, I'm pretty sure that I should be chilling when it comes with to Shiesty and Obey. But I also, as you guys know, I am on the compute community part of Sin. So if there is too much work to be cut out for me between three different teams, Shiesty will probably be the first one that I do end up leaving, and that's not any like hurtful words towards Shiesty, you know what I mean? Because like I love Shiesty. Shiesty is an amazing team, and I wish the best for them 100%. But when it comes to running two teams already, being on a third team, I'm not sure how much work I'm gonna have cut out for me.
Right.
No. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, no, 100%. There was another question that I've been asking people. The last question I have here is if say some of these grinders who don't have as much success as you or some of these other like obviously bigger vouchers do on medias right now. I've came across quite a few of them going to these people who have like 3 to 5 viewers and stuff like that, dropping the emotes that I've been making these last week or so. I've heard a lot of the things like, yeah, I don't really expect to make it into a bay, stuff like that. Like, they aren't going to look at me because I only have this many viewers. I don't have a community behind me, stuff like that. Is there anything that you could say as a successful like RC grinder getting the vouchers that you have? Is there anything you could say to these like smaller end grinders that may get them in the right mindset? Because when we post this on Saturday, there's still going to be like two weeks left of this RC, and they have plenty of time to get their head straight so they can really put up a proper grind, you know? So is there anything you could say to these guys?
The main thing that I want to tell them is everything comes with time. Literally everything comes with time. You're not gonna blow up on Twitch your first stream. You know what I mean? Like even if you're averaging 3 to 5 viewers, over time that 3 to 5 is gonna turn to 8 to 9, and then that's gonna double to 16, and then that's gonna double to 32, and then that's gonna double to 64. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
everything comes with time. But with that being said, Obey already immediately said that they're not looking for people with big numbers for this RC. Like for this RC in specific, they're looking for people who they think would be a W for their team, whether they got numbers or not. They're looking for solid content. So if you can put out good content, if you feel like your content is good enough to be watched, then it's good enough to go for this Obey RC.
right, 100%,
Like, and there's no point in not going for it because all it is it's notoriety around your name to help build your name for even if you don't make it in this RC for the next RC.
100%. Um,
So
I think that is all of the questions I have. So, guys, if you haven't already, make sure you guys go hit up Goofy on all of his socials there below his camera here, as well as they will be down below in the subscription as the in the description, as the rest of the guests on this episode will be. And make sure you guys are spamming hashtag Obey Goofy on every post that you see about the vouchers. Make sure you guys are showing him all the love that he deserves. Man is putting in the grind absolutely every single day, as well as trying to balance family life with the insane amount of entertainment that he provides to his community and his online family that he has accumulated over the last year or so. So just make sure you
yeah.
guys are showing him the love that he deserves, man. Dude puts in the grind every single day. As you guys know, he is
Before we
the
move on, I do want to say one thing.
sure.
Today actually marks 11 months of me not just grinding for Obey, but streaming as well. So That's a W right there. We're almost at a year. A year
Almost
from
a year, man.
or a month from today will be a year.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's gonna be nuts, man. It's gonna be crazy.
So y'all, like, with that being said, like, y'all don't have to be doing this for 8+ years to be able to like make a online name for yourself. Like, we've talked to so many people today, in this episode who have been doing this for like 2 years, 1 year, 6 months. Like, it doesn't matter how long you've been doing this. You can make a name for yourself in just a small amount of time. These are some of the most successful content creators across our little community in COD. That, like, these are the highest regarded people grinding for the Obey RC right now, and they've only been going for like a year. Like, you guys can make a name for yourself if you start today. You stay consistent. You stay true to who you are, true to your roots. You be a solid content provider for your audience, and you stay interactive with your chat, and just be appreciative of everything that you have, and just have your goal and mindset on growth. You can make it to that next step, and soon you'll be on the same level as these guys and taking steps towards your future, man.
Exactly.
But
Big.
with that said, obviously you guys do know that, um, as we are posting on the Sin channel, Goofy is the second of three leads that we do have here. We talked to Echo last week. He is our third lead. There's a lot of shit that is going on behind the scenes for Sin. So, for any of you guys who are waiting for more content than just a fucking podcast to be posted on this YouTube channel, I promise you, as soon as this Obey RC is done, the level of content that it's going to be pumped out of this shit is going to be completely unheard of for people who have been
I
waiting for
have
Sin.
not been able to put as much focus into the content creation side of Sin as I have would have liked to with this Obey RC. So as soon as this Obey RC is finished, whether I make it into Obey or not, I for a fact I'm putting more work into the community side and the content creation side of the community of Sin. So you
Right.
guys will be seeing a lot more from not just
With
him, but from me.
with all three of the leads hard focusing this Obey RC right now, it's really hard to kind of balance the fact between uh what we want to provide as a solo content creator plus what we want to provide to you guys as a community channel. So it's kind of like completely different content, and we need to find a way to not only post consistently on our channel, but post consistently to two channels, two completely separate kinds of content with the same amount of time that we were doing it as solo content creators. So it's a little bit of a balance to find, but just know, as Echo and I talked about in the future, there is never a night where two out of the three of us at least are not talking about Sin and what we have planned for the future. Like, it is a constant grind. We are always talking about Sin, always talking about the next way to improve. We're talking about ways to improve on our improving that we haven't even hit yet. Like, it is, we have a ladder planned out, the best way to get to the top, and like, it's gonna be a nonstop grind, and we are not gonna stop until we are there. So that being said, hashtag obey Goofy, hashtag Sin with honor, and that's all I have to say. We are going to get into a call with Oon and be talking to him in a little bit. And I mean, that's all I got for now. I mean,